Hey guys, welcome to Design Lab. My name's Ralph and I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview about what you get in each of our pattern packs. Okay, so as you can see here, if you simply pay for one of these blocks, I'm going to show you what you actually get in that pattern pack, and we've got quite a few here. Okay, so when you purchase and download one of these pattern packs, it comes as a zip file or zip folder. So let's just double click this to open it. And as you can see here, this is the folder. Let's double click into the folder. So in this pattern pack, you're always going to get 4 different folders or elements. I'll take you through each one individually. So first of all, we have the editable patterns, which is possibly the most important part of this entire, let's say, pack. So let's just double click on this. Now, as it says in the description, we supply SVG format and Adobe Illustrator format. SVG format simply stands for Scalable Vector Graphics, and it's a universal format that is used for CorelDRAW, Inkscape, Adobe Illustrator, and other SVG editing platforms for digital pattern cutting. But we also provide Adobe Illustrator specific files as well. And that's what we use. We use Adobe Illustrator to draft all of our patterns and experiment, etc. So I'm just going to go into this folder. So what you get in this folder is you get all of the UK standard sizes as individual files. So you have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. all the way to UK 24. And you also get an editable nested block as well. So let's just open up, let's say, the UK standard 10 individual pattern. So as you can see here, oh wait, hang on, let me just shut down some of these windows. And this one, don't save. Okay, so here you can see we have the UK standard size 10. And we can see it's a size 10 because it states it here in the title, and also on the description it says UK 10 just here, and it also says it on this little bit on the side seam. Okay, so once again, these are fully editable files. And by that what I mean is we can simply manipulate and change these blocks in any way we wish. Okay, they're fully editable. So for example, let's say we wanted to add a little yoke to this little back panel here. We could just simply add that yoke, and we could then separate it off. We could also maybe add seam allowance to all of these. Object, let's go path, offset path, click OK. Let's just raise the point of that line. There we go. Okay, so we've now, let's say we've created this, we've changed this draft to become, let's say, an individual pattern. So these are fully editable files. You can do pretty much anything you want. You can do dart manipulations, whatever it is that you want to do. Let's go back to the the nested block. So these are all independent files, as I've displayed it here. This is just the UK 10. If I go to the nested version, you can see that it's the same block, but it is all sizes. So UK 4 all the way up to UK 24. And if I open up my layers here, you can see that each one is on its own independent layer. So we can get rid of the 4, 6, 8. We can just get rid of these by making them invisible. So let's say you wanted to work with UK 18 and you want to see a UK 16 in its comparison, or maybe a UK 20. This gives you a nice way of seeing the difference between the two blocks and obviously playing with them. Once again, they are editable files. So I can just simply snip here and here, and we could turn that into, let's say, a panel, and then we could just move this off once again. So you can edit these files in any way you wish. Obviously you're a pattern cutter, and if you're familiar with digital pattern cutting, you know exactly what you're doing at this point. Okay, so let's go back out of that. So these are our Adobe Illustrator format blocks. Now once again, to reiterate, we have UK 4 to 24 as individual files, and then you have the nested block as well. It's exactly the same for SVG format. It just means that these files will work in any platform such as CorelDRAW, Inkscape, Adobe Illustrator, any SVG editing software. Once again, you have exactly the same concept. UK 4 to 24 is individual files, fully editable, and also the nested block as well. Okay, so let's come out of this. Let's next go to the measurement chart. Now, the measurement chart is really important when it comes to understanding what measurements go into making our blocks. So for example, let's go to our, what is this? This is a UK size 10. So let's have a look. So for example, if we go to UK 10 on this side over here, you can see that the neck circumference that we have used to draft this block is 37, the shoulder is 12.3, chest is 32.4, etc, etc, etc. These are all the measurements we have used to draft this UK standard size 10, and it's all 26 measurements there for you, okay? So really handy to have all those measurements. So when it comes to comparing, let's say, your model or your client their measurements with this, you can see which size best fits them or suits them, rather than just relying on those standard sizes. Also, on this measurement chart, we have a little bit of information about eases. So all of our blocks come with a built-in ease, and you can find it on the descriptive label just here. So for the UK10, we have a bust ease of 7%, 5.5% for the waist and 5% for the hip. Now the way this works is, this is 7% of the bust measurement is applied as an ease. So for example, if this is a UK10 and we find it on our chart, UK10, let's find the bust measurement, it is 88 centimetres. So if I get my calculator and I go 88 divided by 100 times 7% or 7, we have a bust ease that's additional to our bust measurement. We have an additional ease of 6.16 centimetres, and it's the same for the waist. So for example, we find the waist measurement for the 10, 72 centimetres, we divide that by 100 and we times it by 5.5. So let's just do that. So the waist is 72 divided by 100 times 5.5 gives us a 3.96 centimetre ease to this block. Okay, so in addition to the waist measurement, we're adding 3.96 centimetres. So that's really handy when it comes to understanding the eases that have been applied to these blocks, and obviously the measurements that we use to draft them. And there's a little bit of information about ease here that will give you maybe possibly a better explanation. Okay, so next, what do we have? Let's have a look. Let's go to this. Okay, so next in our pack we have PDF patterns. Now if you're a home sewist, or if you're familiar with independent sewing pattern companies, or you're familiar with, let's say, printable patterns on A4, A3, US letter size, then this comes in really handy. So let's just go ahead and open up the A4 block, UK 4 to 24, on the A4 PDF pack. As you can see, it's our nested block, all of our sizes, but this time it's printable on A4 pages. So let's just zoom out a bit. As you can see, it's been broken up into various A4 pages that allow you to print it out on your home printer. And once again, this comes in A0, A3, A4 and US letter size, so really handy when it comes to manual paper pattern cutting, or let's say editing your patterns, by hand with a ruler and pencil, for example. So next, have a look at the print templates. Now this is really cool. This is really, really fun. So basically, okay, you're, let's say, not new to digital pattern cutting and you want to translate, or you are new to digital pattern cutting and you want to translate this pattern onto paper. How do you print it full scale from your desktop onto paper? Well, you use these print templates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the A4 print template because I'm based in the UK and my printer accepts A4. I'm going to double click and open this up. And as you can see, you have a whole bunch of pages which have all been pieced together, and they have titles A1, A2, A3, A4, and then below you have B1, B2, B3, etc. Also, we have our measurement guide or our scale guide. So when you print it out, you want to make sure it's the right scale. You would measure this and ensure it's 5 centimeters. We also have inches as well. And we also have our little registration marks that allow you to piece these together both vertically and horizontally. So if I want to, let's say, take this pattern here, and I want to print it out on paper, I just simply copy it, open up my A4 template, I paste it onto my A4 print template document here. I want to make sure that it's not off the page because we'll lose some. Just make sure it's on the page, it's got enough space. Let's move this over here. I mean, essentially you want to probably ensure that it has the best, don't want to use too many pages, this is a bit wasteful. Let's say this dress is slightly shorter. Let's just make that a little bit shorter there. And let's also move that over ever so slightly. We don't want to go into that other page. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter really too much for this demonstration. And then what we do is we simply just edit our artboards and then just remove all the pages that we do not want, like this, for example. And then, there you go. You can see that. We're just going to go File, Save As, and then we go to Desktop, and we can call this, let's say, A4 dress block amended, and then we're going to go for PDF and click Save, and then Save again, and then as you can see, it's just appeared in our desktop here. Let's just double click it, and as you can see, there you go, look, it's created, it's basically placed that pattern onto individual A4 pages. So that's really handy when it comes to getting your digital patterns onto paper, so you can either share it with friends, you can sell it online, you can print it from home, pretty much whatever you want to do with it. And let's just go back to, as you can see, we have this in A0, A1, A2, A3. Let's go to A1, for example. Okay, so this is the A1 print template page. So really, really handy when it comes to getting your digital patterns onto paper. Okay, so that's pretty much it when it comes to the overview of what you get in your pattern pack. There's something else I want to show you as well. So this all might seem quite complicated, especially if you're very new to digital pattern cutting. So we have some really helpful, handy tutorials that you can play with. So if you go down to the bottom of the page here, and it'll be on every product page as well, you can see free digital pattern making course. This basically shows you how to translate your pattern making skills into a digital platform like Adobe Illustrator. So it shows you step by step, I think there's about 7 or 8 tutorials, how to actually use Adobe Illustrator as a pattern cutting platform. And here we've got a little example, I think it's tutorial 3 out of 8, and this shows you a little bit about how to mark points and how to create necklines, etc. But we can just go to view the course. Now, this course is on our sister site called patternlab.london. I'll explain a little bit about Pattern Lab in a minute, but this is the courses page, okay? As you can see here, so you can set up your workspace in Adobe Illustrator specifically for pattern cutting and how to place all the tools, really handy. We have an overview of various different parts of pattern cutting in Adobe Illustrator, you know, how to group and make selections, you know, cutting your block up into panels, which is what you just saw, adding seam allowance, transforming your patterns into multi-page PDF documents, which is what we just saw as well. So it kind of shows you how to translate your skills as a pattern cutter into a digital platform. And they're completely free, we don't charge for them, so really handy when it comes to supporting these Design Lab basic blocks. Also, if you want to understand a little bit about our sister site Pattern Lab, so Pattern Lab essentially is designed to draft basic blocks, but not using standard sizes, using people's unique measurements. So if we go to the profiles page, you can, so I've already created profiles, and you see here you can enter in someone's unique measurements, similar to that measurement chart. You can enter in all those unique measurements, body measurements, all 27 of them. And you can also, if you click this little icon here, it'll show you how to take the neck measurement. Same with the bust. How do you take the bust measurement, for example? And once you've entered in all of your measurements here, you can then go on to draft your block. And that happens in the lab. So we just go to the lab, we select the profile that we want to use. We even have standard sizes here as well that you can select from, but we won't go into that just yet. And then you can also choose the block you want, so bodice, and it'll also live draft it on the right here. We can go to the fit selection, so we can go for way shaping, and maybe we want either automatic or we can use custom, and this is where you can put in your own eases. Okay, so this is a fully dynamic block. Not only does it use your unique measurements, or your customer's unique measurements to draft the block, it also allows you to add in eases of your choice to make it larger or smaller. We also have different seam manipulations or dart manipulations. You can select double, classic, for example, and you can see it drafting here. You can even go for a French dart, for example. And we can also do the same for the back. No seam, you can add a princess if you really want to, possibly a French perhaps, might be better. We're using French and French. And also the sleeve, you can change the sleeve cappies as well, and then also you have the purchase options. Ooh, what's going on with fit? Oh, let's go to automatic. Purchase options, and you can download it as a multi-page PDF, and you can also download it as an SVG or AI. You can even add seam allowance once you're post-purchase. And we have a whole bunch of different blocks here. We're going to be adding to these as we go throughout the year. Anyway, enough about Pattern Lab. Let's go back to Design Lab. Okay, Design Lab. So yeah, as I said, they're all UK 4 to 24 sizes. Feel free to have a play with these blocks. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me at info@designlab.london, and we're here to answer your questions. Yeah, so that's it from me. Enjoy your blocks and see you soon.